Hello boys, this video is to explain the memo of exercise 15. It says that P. Green is the owner of Green Fingers Garden Service and the following receipts were issued for August 2009. Record the transactions into the CRJ. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is you need to go and give your CRJ a heading. It's the Cash Receipts Journal of Green Fingers Garden Service for August 2009. And because August is the 8th month of the year, it's CRJ number 8. Now let's look at the first transaction. It was on the 1st of August, we issued receipt number 28 to G Player for services rendered, 250 Rand. To record this in the CRJ, you will say it's document number 28. On the 1st, the details of the customer is G Player. The money, the 250 Rand we received, will go to our till. Remember, I refer to this analysis of receipts column as your till. And because it's the only transaction for the day, you can draw that nice thick line, indicating that you are cashing up your till and depositing the money into bank. And it was received for services rendered, so it goes to current income. The next transaction was on the 2nd of August. It said issued receipt to S. Sawyer for refuse removal, 40 Rand. Okay, so they didn't tell you what the receipt number is, but you know it must be the next receipt number. So it's 29. On the 2nd to S. Sawyer, we received 40 Rand. Once again, it's the only transaction for the day, so you can cash up your till by drawing this nice thick line and deposit the money into your bank. And it was for refuse removal, which counts as a service, so it's current income. The next transaction was on the 3rd. We issued a receipt to F. Franklin for tree felling. That's just cutting of a tree. Okay, 700 Rand. So when we record this, it will be receipt number 30. On the 3rd to F. Franklin, 700 Rand will go to our till. It's the only transaction for the day, so you can draw that nice thick line, indicating that you are cashing up your till, putting the money into your bank, and tree felling counts as a service, so it's current income. The next transaction took place on the 4th. We issued a receipt to P. Plier for general garden maintenance for 300 Rand. So in the CRJ, it will be receipt number 31. On the 4th, P. Plier, 300 Rand will go to your till. It's the only transaction for the day, so you can draw a thick line and deposit the money into your bank account. And it's for general garden maintenance, which counts as a service and therefore as current income. The next transaction took place on the 7th. It was a capital contribution of 7,000 Rand. A capital contribution will come from our owner, who is P. Green, and they didn't say we issued a receipt, but we assume that we did. Okay, so you will say receipt number 32. On the 7th, our owner's name, P. Green, 7,000 Rand. It's the only transaction for the day, so you can put it in bank, and then it's not current income. We didn't render a service, so it won't go into this column. Be careful. It must go to capital, but capital doesn't have its own column, so we will have to put it in sundry accounts and specify that it's for capital. The next transaction was on the 11th, but please notice that there are 2 transactions on the 11th, so it actually affects our analysis of receipts and bank columns. The first was we issued a receipt to W. Wheeler for a once-up cleanup, which is also just a service, of 800 Rand. Okay, so when you record it here, you will say receipt number 33. On the 11th, W. Wheeler, 800 Rand. But be careful because it's not the only transaction for the day. You can't draw that line yet. Can't cash your till up yet. So nothing will go to bank in this line, but it will go to current income. And then the next receipt on the 11th said issued a receipt to BB for services rendered 300 Rand. It will be the next receipt number, number 34. Don't have to write an 11 again because we're still on the 11th. The customer was BB. It was worth 300 Rand, and now you can cash up your till. You can add these 2 values together. That's in your till. Draw the thick line indicating that you will deposit the total, which is 1,100 Rand, into your bank account. in the second line. And then remember, this 300 Rand that we received from BB was also for rendering a service, so it must go to current income as 300 Rand. Please don't put this 1,100 Rand in current income now. Okay, be careful. Remember, the current income amount must always be the same as the analysis of receipts amount. Then the second last transaction on the 27th of August was issued receipt to S. Sawyer for monthly service fee. Okay, so it would be receipt number 35 on the 27th to S. Sawyer, 500 Rand. It's the only transaction for the day, so you can draw that thick line, cash up your till, put the money in your bank, and it's for services, so it counts as current income. And then the last transaction for the day, on the 30th, it said increased his capital contribution to 9,000 Rand. Okay, so be careful. This doesn't say that the owner gave us 9,000 Rand. It said the owner increased his capital contribution to 9,000 Rand. And I hope you know that on the 7th, the owner made a capital contribution of 7,000 Rand. Okay, so if he wants to make that 7,000 Rand, 9,000 Rand, he only contributes an additional 2,000 Rand. So when you record this transaction, you will issue a receipt. It's on the 30th. Our owner's name is P. Green. He gives an additional 2,000 Rand to get that capital contribution to a total of 9,000. It's the only transaction for the day, so you can bank. Remember, it doesn't go to current income. It goes to sundry accounts as capital. And lastly, you must total your columns. The bank column, if you add all of these values together, will give you 11,890. The current income column, if you add all of these values together, will give you 2,890. And then the sundry accounts column, which are both capital transactions, give you that total of 9,000 Rand. Remember, if we add these two columns together, you must get the value in your bank column.